Rob, the incident happened on November 20th, 2023. The family says their 14-year-old son was coming home after getting snacks from a grocery store when he was tased by police in his own backyard and was later hospitalized. The family's attorney says this was a case of mistaken identity and says police must be held accountable. Now, we want to warn you, the video you're about to see might be disturbing.
Get your hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
On the morning of November 20th of last year, 14-year-old Avarius Thompson, who has autism, was tased by a Dalton police officer. Seconds later,
don't move!
He's tased again.
You gotta get some more!
When you're looking at that body cam video and you see your son, you see him being tased, as a parent, what goes through your mind when you're watching that?
It was frightening. It was very scary. And I can see he was confused. He didn't know what was going on.
According to the incident report, Dalton police were called to assist Riverdale police, who were searching for 4 black males. 2 of the males were said to have fled on foot with rifles and a handgun, according to the report.
Get your hands up!
At around 10:53 a.m., a Dalton police officer spots Thompson in a backyard, pursues him, and tases him.
Don't move! Don't move!
According to the police report, Thompson was positively identified as one of the offenders. But in this body cam video, you can hear what appears to be another officer questioning whether they got the right person.
I don't think that's him, bro. We lost one, though. This might not be him.
Thompson's sister comes outside, asking why they have her brother.
He a little boy! What did you do? I didn't do nothing. I know you didn't do nothing.
Thompson's mother, Gwendolyn Torin, says she rushed to the hospital where her son was being treated.
He's autistic. You can't arrest an autistic kid, man. Y'all tased him. Y'all did that.
After being treated at the hospital, the family says their son was turned over to Riverdale police, who released the boy later that day.
Far too often we're seeing this happen, not just in Illinois, across the country.
The family's attorney, Calvin Townsend II, says to his knowledge, his client has not been charged with a crime. He says this was a case of mistaken identity.
He's a great kid.
Attorney Townsend says his client's clothing was similar to the suspect's description, which made him a target.
He's a 14-year-old kid, and having officers rush towards you with what we know as tasers, but could be perceived as guns, is scary. Then you add the autistic aspect, again, it's very confusing.
Thompson's parents tell me their son suffered bruising, tase marks on his body, and a fractured hip. They say it was a traumatic experience for their son and the entire family.
He's just a lovable kid, you know, and I couldn't believe that this could happen to my kid.
You see so many stories of stuff like this happening to kids, and they go to jail, they don't come out. Something happens, they end up dying. It happens every day in this world. And I don't want to see it happen to my son or anybody's kid.
I asked Dalton police if charges were filed and if they did in fact pursue the wrong person in this case. The Village of Dalton says they have no comment regarding this incident. Riverdale's police chief, he said that multiple people were arrested and charged in this incident. He said the area was searched for a number of hours for weapons, and he said it should be noted that this all occurred near 2 schools. Now, I also asked the Cook County State's Attorney's Office if Avarius Thompson had been charged, and they said they had not been contacted for charges related to this incident for anyone related to this case. So the family says still so many unanswered questions, and they said their son is traumatized.
I can imagine.
Yep, that was an update on this case, man. I just looked at it, forgot that quick. I think like February 2024. Officer, I done forgot your name already. They got your ass out of here. With all due respect, I plan to talk about that. I am Trailhand Bill, reporting live from South Florida. If you're new here, man, the video is over, man. So if that's all you wanted to see, you're welcome to leave. No one will be upset. For the rest of y'all, relax, man. I'm finna take my time. I'm trying to get all of this out, man. I promise you, man, I wish I would have screenshotted that comment, because I promise you, I think it was a white lady who said it. She used to be here all the time. I think she kind of took something I said wrong, and then I don't respect you, shorty. I hope everything is okay with you, because people do, things happen too. But what she said was, it's crazy because the black and brown officers always get in there and try to act like the white guys. Now, do I think that's like what's going on 100% of the time? Hell no. But do I think that be happening? I mean, come on, man. If anybody looking with honest eyes can see sometimes when you got non-white officers that are just trying to be, that are just police, and then you got the one now you trying to be like the white guys, right? And she said, yeah, that y'all always find out, you know, in situations like this, y'all ass not white. And I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm not a statistics type person. I think most statistics are manipulated. They're taken, the information is gathered from very specific places to manipulate the results on the back. I just don't trust statistics. Let me say that. I read life, people, places, and things. I'm gonna give it real with you, man. A lot of times, more often than not, when I see these officers getting punished for doing something, it be y'all black cats. I mean, y'all be sit y'all there down. I'm just gonna refer back to what Shorty said. I said all that to echo what she said, man. Y'all ain't them white guys, man. Y'all better sit y'all ass down. They gonna use y'all as the example every time. Perfect segue. Like I said, it's an update on this case. I don't know if I said it when I went off on the last tangent, but they fired this cop, man. He was a trainee. He had been on the job like 3 months. I'm not laughing about that. I'm just laughing at the irony of the whole situation. He'd been on the job like 3 months, and then he had this incident, and they threw his black ass under the bus and got him up out of there. That was the update from February 2024. Wish I had that video. I don't. Y'all gotta take my word for it. You know I'll leave the link to the print articles in the description or the comments, and or both. But I want to reiterate, they got your black ass up out of there, big dog. And I'm gonna tell you why that is such a point to make to me. Y'all gonna kill me for this, man, but you know I try to be objective and call it down the middle. Don't mean I'm right. This is just my objective analysis of the situation. I 1,000,000,000% do not think this cop was wrong. I 1,000,000,000%, I repeat, I don't think this cop made one mistake at all. I think this is one of the times when the cop absolutely got it right, and it was just a bad situation for everyone involved. Let me tell you why the hell I say that. If you hear his statement, which again, if you care to, I didn't get the video, but I get the print order, you can read it. That's where I got all this information from. He said, basically, I'm gonna summarize what he said. He said, my heart breaks for the family. I hope they realize I'm not just this crazy violent officer out here, and realize I was just trying to do my job. And one of the first things he said was, I thought I did the right thing because I used a non-lethal weapon. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about what you may not know that I know that helps me come to the conclusion that I come to, that I could be hard to be wrong about, but it's my opinion. Not, maybe a month or two ago, I think a 76-year-old veteran, I mentioned this in one of my videos, was murdered by a teenager out there in in Chicago, in Illinois. A few months ago, one of my first stories I covered, a cop coming home from work was murdered by a teenager in Illinois. Now, what the media wants to portray to you is that Chicago is one of the worst places in the world. If you were to look up those statistics a lot of you guys trust, you'll find out that Chicago sometimes, from what I remember when I've glanced at them, isn't even in the top 10. Now, does that mean there aren't horrible things going on in Chicago? That doesn't mean that. But I'm referring to those two tragic stories to say this, man. The world is a very violent place. Florida, I tell you guys, is a very violent place. America is a very violent place. When you're chasing teenagers in the context of the world we live in, and it has been reported that they may have weapons, I don't think it's wrong if you run up on one of those teenagers and they don't immediately put their hands in the air. I don't think it's wrong for that person's safety, or for the community safety, or even for officer safety, if you want me to go there, for the officer to pull out his taser and subdue the person. I don't think that's wrong. Because that teenager, not because they're black or because they're teenagers, you could have put a woman in it, whoever you want to put into that situation. When you're a cop in the context of the world we live in, and you have the information you have, and you run up on someone fitting the description. They said the guy's clothes, the young man's clothes, I'm going to talk about him. Don't think I went all the way off my rockers. They said his clothes did match this. Now, they cops, so they could have made that part up. So let me just take that. I'm going to retract all that. Forget I ever said that. Objection, judge. We moved to remove all that. Yeah, all that. So let me just go back. You got the information that running from a possibly stolen vehicle, and they may have semi-automatic weapons, or automatic weapons, or weapons at all in the context of the world we live in. I think the best thing the cop can do in that situation, when it's fluid, guys, I could be wrong. The comment section, y'all know I feel, share your opinions. Tell me I lost my damn mind. the best thing he can do is pull out his taser. Like he said, I thought I was right because I went for the less lethal option. I think that's what was supposed to happen in that situation. It's just unfortunate that the young man, because of his fear, because he was frightened, because of his autism, because of whatever, didn't understand what was going on to the full context, that he realized, yo, let me just stop and put my hands in the air. And that might not. Now, these are cops now. Don't think like I said, I ain't went all the way off my damn rocker. But it may not have went as far as it did and I'm not victim blaming at all. Like I said, I don't know what caused him to do that, and I don't think the young man was any more wrong than the cop was. But it was just a perfect storm, and I think that perfect storm came out as well as it could be. Because on the other end of that, like I say, the cop doesn't do anything, and then that is one of the people with the gun, the automatic weapon. They start shooting. They shoot in the house and kill a baby. We got a lot of those stories, man. Kill an innocent man, kill an innocent woman. Like, you know what I mean? So what do we do in this situation, man? We got to think real fast. The situation is fluid, and I don't want to kill somebody I'm not supposed to be killing. Do I turn into another one of these cops that done shot another person fleeing from me? We got a million of those stories. Or do I pull out my taser and subdue them in the best way I know how without killing them, man? I'm sorry, because I think the cop made the right decision. Now, before you think I'm just belaboring that point and forgetting about the victim here, what the hell do you expect a 14-year-old kid to do with autism, man? It might not even cross my mind to just freeze. You see, I don't know what the hell is going on. I see a cop, sir. I don't know you've been on the force 3 months. I don't know that you're looking for people with guns and all this, or supposedly looking for people with all these guns. You know what I do know? I know Trayvon Martin. I know that was no cop situation, but it damn the way it was. Now I ain't gonna get into that rabbit hole. I know Tamir Rice. I know all these other names that I could call, man, that y'all have murdered, man, and y'all just killed. I just covered in my last video why Atlanta police up there hiding a murderer. Y'all killed a 17, 18-year-old in Atlanta. Y'all killed that 13, 14-year-old boy in New York. Y'all killed a mental health dude, another mental health dude in New York. Y'all, and these are shots. I ain't talking about what they killed in other ways. I'm talking about just shooting them. Y'all shot that dad in his own backyard because he was popping firecrackers in California, man. The list goes on and on and on. And I'm just a 14-year-old kid, and I see one of you crazy motherfuckers coming my way, fam. I might be a little frightened and lose my damn mind long enough not to know what the hell I'm just trying to get away from your killer ass, because you're not going to say that. Your department not going to say that. The government is not going to say that. Most of blind America is not going to say that, but you are part of a murdering organization, sir. 14-year-old kids should be frightening y'all coward asses. So please don't think that tangent I went on about this cop means I think that the kid did anything wrong. I really just think it was a perfect storm. That's my sentiments here, guys. And I'm wondering why in the hell, I'm going to always come back to this, man. Y'all, in my last video, I mentioned, man, that I don't really cover like the popular stories and stuff. And this one, ironically, finally brought me to one of the popular stories that I think I've never even mentioned in my videos. That's what's going on down there in Dalton, where this story absolutely is with the mayor they got down there, Tiffany Henyard or whatever. I'm starting to think they ain't got a damn thing on that woman, because she ain't slowed down none besides the funds that they cut off from her. She's still popping like she owned the world. I know the feds investigating. I be keeping up. Like I say, the trendy stories ain't my thing, but she don't seem worried at all. But anyway, it's ironic that I know that story is going on. I've been keeping up with it on the fringes. I just was mentioning that I don't go for the popular trending stories, and then I run up on a story that actually brings me right here. She did actually make a statement in this situation too. And like I said, if you guys want to read the print article, I'll leave that there for you, because I just want to stick with the points of this video, and I've used up enough time, so I want to go ahead and finish and get out of here, man. I'm very curious about why they fired this cop, brother and sister, because like I said, we have very recent, and you know, in the past and all throughout America's history, evidence and instances of cops doing far worse, man. And the names just go on and on and on, and they pile up every damn day. And I'm not even talking about the ones that they just attack and brutalize. I'm talking about the Americans that they senselessly murder. How many times do I say I'm not a provocator of senseless violence? They senselessly murder Americans damn near on a daily basis, definitely on a weekly basis. The names just pile up. And these cops go home with paid vacations and those crowd-funded accounts filled with the money of Americans who back the brutality, the murderous, bloody brutality that they pour out on the American public. They get rewarded for that, financially and otherwise. I know I said a lot there. I said these motherfuckers kill people and get paid to do it and celebrate it for it. But in this instance, When even if you don't agree with me that the cop made the right decision, you can't disagree with me that we've seen cops do far worse and receive no penalties, get rewarded for it. So I beg the question here. I mean, the situation begs the question, why did they fire this guy? They didn't offer him, like he didn't resign. It was nothing. They fired him. What's really going on with that? Maybe I'm over-exaggerating that point. But yeah, that stood out to me. Let me say, I'm glad I didn't forget to say this, man. And I know I said I'm about to wrap it up, so I'll wrap up with this. I was so happy to hear that Dad, number one, speak. I've mentioned this on my other platforms. A lot of times we see tragedies like this. The dad is somewhere in the background and mom is speaking for everyone. And I've long since said fathers need to not only be more involved, but be more vocal. And so I was glad to hear him, speaking at the beginning of the video. And I was also glad to hear his contrasting view on the situation. I'm going to be respectful when I say this. Mom upset me, asking how could this happen to my son. That upset me. And once again, I don't want to agitate her grief and anger and emotion that she has a right to, but it does make me passionately upset when we live in this damn country. And Dad went on to highlight this. He said it very, very eloquently. We live in this country and we see who these motherfuckers are, and we still ask questions like that. That is a little, you know what I'm saying? If I'm speaking very directly and honestly, that's just dumb as hell to me. What do you mean, how? Especially as a real Negro, African-American Negro. But I mean, right now, 2024 America, I'm not telling y'all know me. Don't live a paranoid life. God has blessed us with beautiful places, people, places, and things in our life, including the country. But ain't no way in the hell you gonna act like all of us ain't Negroes right now, man. You ain't paying attention to the damn news. You just doing too much going about your little daily ass life. If you still running around this motherfucker seeing people die in the hands of police, whether they came to help, whether they looking for criminals or what the hell ever, and then your ass running around here asking how. You ain't living in the real world right now. You need to wake the hell up. That's my message to you. And if you know what's going on and you got people around you like that, your ass is a co-conspirator in ignorance. But I am glad once again that Dad chimed in and was vocal. He literally said the same thing that the attorney said. This is happening too damn much, not just in Illinois, but all throughout our damn country. And Dad said it, like I said, eloquently. His mind is in the right place. He isn't self-centered. He said, I don't want this to happen to anyone. You go back and listen to what he said. I might play it at the end, including my son, because it's happening too much. I'm not trying to pit Dad and Mom against each other. I'm just saying, Mom, you are in that group of Americans that I have to ask, because we honestly do care for you guys and we don't want you walking around blind. We don't know how the hell you're asking how this could happen when you're sitting right beside the man that you have dedicated your life to, and he's very well aware, and even the attorney that you have, they're very well aware that this is happening all too often, not only in your local municipality and village, but all throughout our country. We need y'all to wake up, man, so we can adequately respond to this bullshit. Because now that 14-year-old may very well live the rest of his life with the terror that he should have never known. Now, in this situation, maybe it was unpreventable. But like the dad and the attorney said, we know what the hell is really going on. And we know it's going on too damn much. Hope this family get what they deserve all around the board. Y'all be safe, be aware, and be alive out here, man. You know what I mean? Teach your kids to know their rights, know who these cops are, know who our government are, and deal with them accordingly. I'm out.
Thompson's parents tell me their son suffered bruising, tase marks on his body, and a fractured hip. They say it was a traumatic experience for their son and the entire family.
He's just a lovable kid, and I couldn't believe that this could happen to my kid.
You see so many stories of stuff like this happening to kids, and they go to jail, they don't come out. Something happens, they end up dying. That happens every day in this world. And I don't want to see it happen to my son or anybody's kid.
Back to blue until it happened to you. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.